I'm sure all of you know how a gun works, but it's worth talking about because it's a good way to understand what happens to us when we lose it. The bullet is made up of a slug and the gunpowder. By itself, it's relatively harmless, but when it's put into a system that's easily triggered, bad things can happen. Because of our past experiences, we're systems that are easily triggered. If you look at anger on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being calm and 10 being blackout furious, most people go through the day between a 2 and a 5. Most of us wake up in the morning at a 5 and go between a 5 and an 8 all day long. We're easily triggered. A trigger is something that sets us off. It can be anything from a traffic jam to your favorite football team losing. Most of us have developed a lot of triggers over time, and the reason has less to do with the trigger itself and more to do with how we appraise the trigger. You've heard of an appraisal of a house. Well, we're constantly appraising things around us and giving them values. The value we put on it determines whether or not the trigger fires. A good example of this is the phrase, "Yo mama." My mom died 6 years ago, and she was the greatest woman I ever met. But there's nothing you could say about her today that would make me react. But when I say yo mama in a room full of 5th grade boys, some of them are ready to fight me, even though I wasn't talking directly to them and had never even seen their mother. They're appraising what that statement means to them, and that appraisal triggers a reaction. This might be hard to understand at this point, but it's really important to hear. Thoughts create feelings, not the other way around. Talk with your team about the things that trigger you, and if you're open to it, let your facilitator keep asking you why until you get down to a thought behind the trigger. An example, traffic jams. I keep asking you why until you get to the thought that people are bad drivers or it's not fair that I'm in traffic. Thanks, and remember, there's always a choice.